Hey everyone, Captain Amazing here, and today we're going to go over my Grand Arena, so let's jump into it. So my opponent is Spanky DeJoel with the Flat Death Star Society. Pretty funny guild name, I think. They have 7.1 million GP, 4 million in characters, 3 million in ships, so not as much as me. They do have more time played at 13,000 Galactic War Battles, so about a year more than me played. So 3 years to my 2. So they have 4 GLs, SLKR, C, Jabba, Rey, Malgus. They only have Executor, so I have the fleet advantage, but he has a GL advantage. So for this first fight, I did a standard Star Killer against Rey. So this Rey is R9. But without Ben, Rey really isn't a huge threat. So I went straight into Rey. Holdo did start taunting, so this was a little annoying. I decided to do the ult. I took off her buff so I can go back on Rey, pulled buffs off of everyone, and then tried ability blocking everyone. So now I'm going into Rey to put her into damage immunity. Now that she's in damage immunity, Holdo starts taunting. She's in damage immunity now, but now this is extremely annoying because I'm stuck behind someone taunting with damage immunity, and now Rey's open for business and I can't get to her. So that was a little frustrating, but I was able to pull off Holdo's buff, and now I'm hoping to try to take out Rey before she can ult. You can see she has 0 turn meter right now, so I have a decent chance of taking her out before she gets into ult. And then boom, it happens. So this is why you don't want to put Rey on defense without Ben, especially if your opponent has Star Killer. You're just gonna target her, burn her down, put her in damage immunity. The next turn she takes, you're just gonna burn her down. And that was a very fast Rey. That Rey had up to 580 speed. So a very, very fast Rey, but still it couldn't handle Star Killer. So here I'm thinking about what I want to do. It's just do I pull the Star Destroyer down or not? I decide, yeah, I'm gonna do it because I want the banners just in case. Because the second they come out of damage immunity, I'm just going to whack-a-mole them. So at this point, it's just a little game of whack-a-mole where I'm the second they come out of damage immunity, they're going down. So I go ahead and yeah, Jedi training Rey, she comes out of damage immunity, and now Holdo, and it's just whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole. So it's a very, very easy fight. It does take a little longer than I expected, just because I didn't really put anyone in damage immunity in the beginning because of Holdo's taunts, so I wasn't able to knock everyone out into damage immunity. But I still got a clean win, max banners. So next we have Rebel Officer Leia Organa against Wampa. This is an absolute joke. There's no thought process that makes this difficult. It's literally impossible to lose. So even Leia, she just kind of dies of sadness against Wampa. So I don't touch her at all, and she just, dies herself. So really easy fight, max banner 69, really clean. So my opponent put a really weak Empire team on defense. So I decided just to take Savage and solo it. I could have used other things, I think of maybe OG Kylo, Malik, or really anything that has an ounce of solo ability. But I felt like I didn't need Savage with Traya this round, so I ended up just using that to get as clean of banners as possible. So I ended up, they have this weak Bounty Hunter team on defense as well. I didn't want to go with the Malgus solo. I don't know why. I was feeling like my banners were really great, and I just wanted to have that extra level of security just in case. You never know. But I really should have just put more confidence in my Malgus. There was no way this team could do literally anything to Malgus. So I should have just gone with Malgus. But as you saw, like, I just put this straight on auto the second I I went into this fight, so I definitely could have just solo Malgus this and had no problem. But I sacrificed 2 banners for that. For this, I went with Darth Vader and Thrawn. I went with Darth Vader Thrawn instead of just solo Darth Vader, just because, again, I just want as clean of battles as possible. I really don't think this team will have I'll have any issues with it, but I just wanted to make sure that I had the ability to have that little security just in case. But again, like, I sacrificed a banner for that security. I did underman this Padme team with a Jedi Knight Luke team. If you're wondering why I have General Kenobi, I'm trying to do the prestigious quest for General Kenobi. So that's the only reason, literally only reason why General Kenobi's in here, and the only reason why I undermanned it. Otherwise, I'm so ahead in banners that I probably would have just kept it how it was. So, but this is going really clean. They only had, I think, 1 relic on this team. So yeah, General Kenobi. So not a hard fight whatsoever. This was very, very easy. This was a back wall defense. I'm overkilling these at this point, so not very hard. So this one is a fight that had the only chance of losing, I think, other than that Rey. And if my first order officer gets speed down and Hux doesn't, then it messes with the turn order, and that can really mess with this. But this went really well. So unfortunately, a bomb went off and healed Leia just a little bit, enough for her to survive. But this is a really smooth battle if you can get that poke, swipe going, because it builds up SLKR's ult, and then it brings them all into damage immunity. So I decide I'm going to go for Skiffguard Lando right here because Leia's in damage immunity and you can't crit Embo, so I don't want to attack Embo as much as possible in the beginning of this. I'm thinking, what do I want to do here? Do I want to basic or just take him out? But I decided to just poke. I don't want to have that very little RNG chance of him missing, so I end up just doing the poke right there. Now Leia's pretty much in the open, so I'm gonna go straight for her. I can mass assist because SLKR is lost his debuff that doesn't allow him to assist, and now I can start working on these other people. Embo is extremely annoying in this fight, extremely annoying. So I do end up ulting here just because I have a full ult and I want to ramp up SLKR as much as possible. I wasn't expecting Embo to be as difficult as he was, but with Leia, it heals him every time a bomb is going, a thermal detonator. So that was really annoying because you can't crit Embo. So he's really survivable against SLKR. I would say more so than Chrysanthemum, because you can crit Chrysanthemum, but you can't crit Embo. And it makes building up SLKRs all really slow, and it's just a really annoying mechanic. So here I am. At this point, I was a little worried, like, am I gonna time out against this team, because it's doing a pretty good job of surviving. But with that poke, I take Chrysanthemum out of invulnerability, and then I can kill him. Now I just have Jabba and Embo, and again, I can't crit Embo, so he's really annoying right now. I'm just trying to ramp up as much as possible, try to get the full stacks of three ult charge for SLKR. But even with that, it's pretty hard because I only have one character that I can crit. I can only crit Jabba. So this Embo causes me to lose some banners here because First Order Officer is going to get eaten, and I can't attack Jabba until I get through Embo. So now I have full ult. I'm pretty confident I'm gonna get through this, because once you get SLKR second ult, he just ramps so beautifully. So I'm working here to try to I decided I'm gonna stun Embo, and then he's in damage immunity now. So I'm like, oh man, maybe I am gonna time out of this fight because Embo's just being really annoying. and I can't even get to Jabba. So I'm still trying to just work through Embo. I'm trying to build my ult, trying to just ramp my damage as much as I can. So ramping, and then Jabba dies before Embo. This was a ridiculous Embo. He's only R5 too, but Embo with Bushcron is an absolute menace. So I went CLS against Zorii here. CLS is a really easy counter to this. They just run their own turn meter train, bop, bends down, and then I go for whoever is available. I bring them all out of stealth, and then I go hard on Zorii Bliss, kill her, and then at this point it's really easy. So Resistance Hero Finn was faster than my team, but Han shoots first, and then I can just get that turn meter rolling. So I low manned this Rey against this standard First Order team. I just didn't have a use for Rey in this fight, and I didn't put her on defense because I go full offense, and sometimes I really do need Rey. Just flex. She can take out Malgus really reliably. So if they put Malgus or another GL on defense, then Rey is a really reliable counter to a lot of different things. But in this fight, this guy just didn't put a good defense down. So this is really easy. I could have just probably soloed this with Rey, but I'm not trying to time out or have anything crazy. I have a lot of flexibility with my banners right now. I'm having super clean fights. I'm low manning a lot of them. I feel really confident that this is going to go well as long as everything goes to plan. So I'm just under manning by 2 or 3. Yeah, I could have soloed some of these, but I'm trying to be more conservative, and that's 67 banners, and I don't think it's going to come down to 1 to 2 banners. So I did 3-man this Jabba against Dash Rendar, just because this is an absolute joke, right? This is an absolute joke of a battle. So I just have a lot of flexibility here, and I do think with Jabba, Kersantin and Bush are his sword and shield, the offense and defense. So if you're gonna low man Jabba, then I would definitely go with having at least those 3 in there, because that's the effectiveness of this team. All right, so now we have Finalizer versus Executor. So I'm gonna ult Houndstooth. That stops him from getting turn meter when I attack his teammates. I'm gonna start working down those stacks on the Razor Crest. They go after my TIE Echelon because he's taunting. I'm going to push turn meter here. I'm gonna again mass assist to heal TIE Echelon, and then take down more of those stacks on the Razor Crest. At this point, they go. I have to wait for Razor Crest to take a turn to control Houndstooth. Otherwise, he would call Houndstooth to assist, and then I'm not going to be able to control him because he would clear off his debuffs. So now that I killed Xanadu Blood, I can call in the SF TIE Fighter, and that's going to allow me to control them a lot better because it pumps up my tenacity, or pumps up my potency, and turns down their tenacity. So now that I can reliably control Houndstooth, I'm going to start working on the Razor Crest, but Slave 1 comes in. They ability blocked my shuttle, so I can't really pull all those debuffs off, or all those buffs off them, so that's annoying. I probably should have basic there just to stun him, but I decided I wanted to try to get him out. It didn't work out, so I turned the turn meter back, and then I was able to stun him. Now I just have to work through Boba Fett, that's Slave 1, but he has crit damage immunity, so that's really annoying. I was able to get to Houndstooth to keep controlling him, and now that he has Foresight, I just have to rip off all his buffs. Now I'm going to call the Ebon Hawk, and this just allows them to not get not get those debuffs on me, so they can't push their ult. But now I'm gonna go keep calling the TIE Silencer. I'm just gonna blow Boba Fett out of here with a basic, and have to start working on these other. I think I'm gonna leave the TIE Bomber alone. I don't know why they put TIE Bomber in here, but I really didn't do anything. So I'm working on the Razor Crest. The Houndstooth didn't have over 50% turn meter, so I left him alone at that point. And now I can go in and try to control them. But I'm going to try to stun. I'm going to try to stun them, and then I can control them with the shuttle. So this is going really well. That dodge is really annoying. So it causes me to maybe lose a few banners there. But I would have preferred to have killed Razor Crest right there, and then I could have possibly controlled, and then another dodge. But at this point, I'm like, oh, this is really not good, because I'm getting really bad RNG here. I do have to control Razor Crest, but he's so weak that he just ends up dying. The Ebon Hawk is able to basic and take out the Razor Crest because it's so weak. I can get that big hit on IG 2000, and now I can finish this off. So a nice, not horrible win. I'll take anything. If I'm going Finalizer against Executor, a win's a win. I'll take the banners. 63, not pretty, but I'm happy with that result. Now I have the Malevolence against the Negotiator. So I always go pretty much heavy into Jedi Knight Anakin. I'll work through they have a really weak Y-Wing here. And I'm just deciding, like, do I want to go heavy into Anakin, or do I want to take out this Y-Wing? And I decide, you know, the Anakin is the star of the show. It's a relic pilot. I need to take him out. So I cleanse the buffs on, or the debuffs on my TIE bomber, or my Hyena bomber. And then I spread some buzzies around. Now he's still in taunt. And I'm just going to work through this. Unfortunately, I have to basic him so he loses his one buzz droid. But I can put some more buzzies on there and start working him down. Hopefully kill him. Anakin is... I'm like, oh, I want to get to Anakin. You can see him. He just has that sliver of a health. And he just dies to a buzz droid. So I was really happy about that. So now I'm going to go in with... And at this point, I'm super confident in this win. It's going beautifully. So now we only have a clone sergeant, which is not the best reinforcement. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even have it in here. But I decide that this went really well for me. 68, not the best banners again, but really clean. So this is a Negotiator against Raddus. So my Negotiator can use some more relics on the whole team, because I have Gear 12 5s and Gear 12 Anakin, and it really hurts it. So I decide maybe I want to like heal up Anakin or something, but he already has that buff, and it's not going well, right? This is a little like, I'm a little worried at this point. I'm like, is the Raddus really gonna clap my Negotiator? And then this AoE and Anakin's like, oh, just a little bit of health. And I was really, not gonna lie, I was really worried at this point, but I figured, you know what, I'm gonna call in Plo, get some healing, push some turn meter, and that's better than getting the savior buff on him. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go into Rey, because she's the greatest threat right now, and she ends up going down pretty quick. And I'm pretty confident, like, okay, I'm turning this around. Negotiator always comes back, as long as you're not, if you didn't die, you're not out. So this fleet at this point, I'm feeling super confident about it. Like, it was really rough at the beginning, really rough, but I felt like, oh, this isn't bad. So call in the Ahsoka. I'm just going to basic here because he doesn't have any buffs for me to rip off to do more damage, and I would like to use that ability over on the bomber if possible, because it has so many buffs right now. So I'm just going to go on to that bomber because it's taunting, AoE, and this is really, it's pretty clean. So I'm gonna alt right here. Ahsoka's gonna take out the bomber, and then an Outrider came out, and I was extremely confused as to why there was an Outrider in a Raddus lineup, but it didn't really change anything. But it was a really strange outcome. So I end up just taking out the Outrider, but really weird team, kind of a weird matchup. But 1844, my opponent hadn't attacked at this point, so let's go ahead and jump and see what ended up happening with my opponent. So we're back in the game. So I did win. Let's go ahead and review this. So my opponent did attack and scored 144 banners, So I put a paper defense on this, so they didn't even see my real defense, which was fleets. So Leviathan, triple attacker, Executor, and then just Raddus for the third. But that's my true defense. So my ground, I go pretty much full offense. I do put stuff down here just so that they don't get perfect banners. They have to attack me to win. But he lost on this absolute garbage separatist droid. I think he was trying to combat how many banners I had with 1844, and he put something, like he went something that ended up getting beat by this really weak separatist lineup. So sometimes this happens, and then because I didn't drop a battle, and I have kind of a fantastic score. 1844 is really good. So this guy just couldn't win, so he stopped attacking right here. So even though he could have easily cleared my ground, he just stopped attacking because he couldn't win at that point. And then the other fight he did down here on the bottom, took out my Sana Staros team. So as you can see, this defense is laughable. It's not a good defense. It's not a good defense. But I do that so I can take everything on offense, and I can full clear and hold on ships. And that's my strategy. But this time was a win. I'm pretty happy with it in my second match this round. So it went well. All I can say is thanks for watching. If you want to watch more of this content, go ahead and like and subscribe. I do push out guides, especially right now. My mod guides are doing really well. I also do a lot of account reviews, so if you want an in-depth account review, go ahead and join my Discord server, and there's a roster review request, and I will I'll give you a roster review and post your very own YouTube video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.